Have you ever been in the middle of a city and wanted to skimboard? In this video, we'll be showing you exactly where and how to find that urban skim spot you've always been dreaming about.
Okay, so the first step is finding the location. There are 3 different kinds of locations you can urban skim in, and one bonus, Pandora's box. Speaking about the first kind of location is a flat water fountain with shallow water. So this is the kind of location where you can do your flatland tricks, you can do your 3 shoves, you can do combos. This is more for those smooth slides and really doing traditional flatland skimboarding kinds of tricks. And then you have the deep water crosses. These can be canals, rivers. This is basically where you run from one side, jump on your board, get to the other side, pop out. And then you have dry skimboarding. So that is skimboarding downstairs, skimboarding on bricks, concretes. This is a lot of fun as well. I don't do it as much, but it's a great way to skimboard all over your city. And then the finale, the most rare skimboarding situation is when it rains. When there's a lot of rain, the whole city becomes your playground. Pandora's box. So, how do we find these spots? So usually what I do, and what I really suggest everyone to do, is ask everyone you know in that city. If you're not familiar with the city, ask them, hey, where can I find water? Where can I find a water feature? Where can I find a canal? All these things they might know. Just note that a lot of people, they're not going to see a fountain and see a skimmable situation because people don't pay attention to fountains as much as we do. If you don't have friends that live there, you can ask on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever platform you can find people that live there. Sometimes skateboarders are going to know very well, or people that are a little bit more into action sports, they see it more with an eye. The third kind of location, concrete, stairs, people are probably not going to know. So feel free to just go out the city yourself and slide on anything you find. Puddles, to be honest, I haven't figured out how to find these spots. Just go out when it rains, shred it. That's basically it. If you don't know anyone in a city, or you found no luck in finding people that can tell you, use your phone. So what I usually do is I start with Google, I write the name of the city, and then I search for water features. Nowadays you can also use AI, just asking where can I find a water feature in this city, or a river, or a canal. It's gonna show you certain places you can go to. What I then next do is I go on Google Maps and I look for the location. What you can do on Google Maps is at the very bottom you have a scale, so you can kind of zoom into the location so you get an idea on how big it is. A skimboard spot can be between 20 meters to more, so you can quickly find out if the spot is too small, too big, so that's a very useful tip to know. And quickly enough, with modern technology, it's not too hard to find. So this is the one we found and we're gonna check out right now. It's in Portugal, in Lisbon, and from my calculations, the scale says it's about 50 meters long. The water looks shallow, so it looks skimmable for a category 1 skimboard spot, flatland. As you can see, this looks very skimmable. So we're gonna check it out in person and we're gonna see if it works, and I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about what makes a spot skimmable, and we're gonna figure out if this one is a good one. So here we are, Linha de Água here in Portugal. This is what it looks like. Just like on Google Maps. I am gonna now quickly speak on what you wanna look for a category 1 skimboard spot, a flat water fountain. This is a pretty decent example of something that works pretty well. So the first thing you gotta pay attention to is the ground. So you have to make sure you find ground that you can firstly run on, isn't too slippery, and it mustn't be too painful if in the unfortunate event you were to fall. So by this I mean if the ground has like sharp nails, or some fountains also have like these death poles that come out where if you fall you'd be like, you don't want that. So this is an example. So I would say in terms of ground, this is not perfect. I would call this like a 6 out of 10. And then you got to look at the water depth. A good depth for skimboarding, if you want to do flatland skimboarding and do your tricks and your combos, you want water that is between this to this. So what's very cool about this particular location is on the side, it's very shallow. So you can stick to the side to do your simple tricks and your long lines, but then when you go further, it gets deeper. So you can actually do your simple tricks on the side, you can go a little bit deeper, and then you can start popping ollies and 360 shove-its. In terms of water depth, I give this one like a 7 out of 10. And another thing you can pay attention to in an urban spot is finding obstacles that are inside the fountain that can increase your fun. So for example, here, you got a ledge that is touching the water. So this gives you more options when you're trying to skimboard. You could, for example, go this way, ollie on, and then do a little grind, Or you could also go this way, pop over, and just use this as an obstacle. So it's also nice if you check your spot and you find a location that has little extra things to have fun with, because skimboarding is such a versatile sport. You could do it on the edge, you could just play around on the flat ground, but you could also use obstacles that are there for you to play. And you'd be surprised at how many things you can actually skimboard. Oh, there's one more thing you can do here too. You could also cross. So you could run here and cross to the other side. There's quite a lot you can do here. So I give this spot maybe, what are we giving it, Joao?
I'd say 7.5.
7.5, a solid 7.5 for Linea de Agua. Maybe in the future I'm gonna make an urban skim map. Maybe that's a good idea, so you can skip the whole steps of looking. But actually, one of the most fun parts of urban skimboarding is finding the location. If no one has ever been there, you do your research and you're not so sure, you arrive at the spot, and when you find a banging skim spot, it's so cool. Now I'm gonna get in the water and we're gonna test it out. So on the edge, you can try to do tricks and maintain your speed. So we're gonna try 360 shove it. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the deep end. As you can see here is about ankle deep. So we can try to ollie over this thingy. Cool spot. Just walking up this spot, we found this. And maybe from a distance, you might think you could skimboard here, but here, for example, you have all these leaves coming out. You fall on this, you're broken. As you can see, this is the surface. It's very soft, but I don't think you can run in this. And it looks very, very nasty. That's also something you should pay attention to. Water stuff in cities sometimes are super nasty. So this is an example because of the depth, because of these leaves sticking out, and because of the surface, it probably doesn't make a good skimboard spot. And most importantly, the smell. A 0 out of 10. Smell. No. This is so bad. Luckily, it was raining here in Lisbon yesterday. So this is what I meant by, if there's a bit of rain, you might find a treasure. So after a bit of rain, what I advise you to do is just walk around your city with your board and look for puddles. And we happen to find quite the Portuguese view. I guess this is an example of a treasure that just appears. So we're gonna try to skim this little puddle for a minute. These are my favorite to find when I see a puddle after rain, because these appear out of nowhere. So it's kind of like mythical. It's a mythical spot. This is crazy. So while I was flying the drone, I ended up here without even knowing that this is full of water. So this is another treat the rain gave us. Bro, don't even be afraid of rain. Rain gives us fun. This is truly Pandora's box. When it rains, it gives you more fun. Skim time.